Hello everyone, welcome to another Jurassic World Evolution video. In today's Jurassic World Evolution video, we are going to be discussing some tips and best tips that you guys who are new to the game can use. So, my name is Swerve and I have played Jurassic World Evolution for nearly 3 years. I was following its development since April of 2018 up upon to release in June 2018 as well. Ever since then, Jurassic World Evolution kind of made my channel. It blew up my channel a little bit and I have it to thank. But I do notice that towards the end of 2019, Christmas time, it actually turns out that Jurassic World Evolution was free on Games with Gold on Xbox. And now this year, in December 2020, we have found a repetition of that where it was free on Epic Games Store as well. So there's a huge number of new people playing this game, and with my nearly 2,000 hours of game time, these are the few tips that I've come up with to help you build your park and also complete campaign mission when you can. Now obviously I can't put thousands and hundreds of tips in this video, so do keep that in mind, and there are probably a few tips that I am going to miss, but these are my personal 15 I believe, well I meant to say 12 there, my personal 12 tips that I can give to you straight off the bat to help you in the long run on making your campaign or building your own parks. Now these are in no specified order, so do keep that in mind. You're welcome to watch any order that you want, and also go to the comment section because there are probably a few people actually giving tips down in the comment section as well. And if you do want a new video on more tips, do let me know in the comment section down below, and why not leave a like on this video. But nonetheless, let's get straight into the video. Now, one thing that is very vital and important, never have more than one Hammond creation lab. The reason for this is because it costs money and it takes a lot of space to be used. Now obviously Matanceros, Penna, they're good examples for islands that are quite small and space is very limited. Not only that, but $500,000 for a Hammond creation lab is a lot of money, so you want to keep that in mind, especially in the campaign feature when building your parks. Not only does it also take up space, but it does also mean you're going to have to constantly spend $1 for 2 Hammond creation labs. My best idea is to build one Hammond creation lab and a sort of paddock right in front of it. How you can then transport your dinosaurs is by tranquilizing them. Once you tranquilize them, they will fall asleep and you'll have the ability and option to be able to move it into its own paddock. That way, in every single fence and enclosure, you don't have to have that horrible looking Hammond creation lab on every single enclosure. So just build a very small enclosure, put the Hammond creation lab there, and proceed to use your ACU unit, I stumbled on my words there, to actually tranquilize the dinosaur and then move it over. It might cost you a tiny bit of money, as I believe it's around 3k per tranquilized dart used. But nonetheless, you'd rather spend that than a good 400 to 500,000 putting down your Hammond creation lab and taking up a lot of space. In my personal opinion, this idea is very good, and it's something that us Jurassic World Evolution players have been using since the start, just because, you know, it costs a lot of money, it takes up space, so that's the main reason why we use this system of keeping a small paddock in front of this Hammond creation lab and then transferring our dinosaurs that way. Now this is probably going to be very vital for people who want to do campaigns, specifically Isla Sorna as well towards the end of the campaign. Remember to always have emergency shelters in every area of your campaign islands. Chaos is only seconds away if you don't have any. Now what I mean by this, that if you open or click on an emergency shelter tab, you'll be able to see a good radius of supporting shelter for that area. Now preferably you would want around 90% shelter coverage. As you can see in this clip, I've got 93%. Not only that, but you will see that some buildings are marked in blue and some buildings are marked in red. The reason for this is that it's showing which buildings are safe during an event of a power outage where your dinosaurs could get out, a sabotage, a tornado coming through your park where again could release dinosaurs. But it's very important to make sure that that shelter coverage is quite high. Now, when you do see a building that is red, it means there is a high need of shelter in that area. I believe in the clips that I'm showing you, the power sources are the ones marked in red. Now, personally, I know not many guests are going to go off into that area, and I know not many scientists are going to go off into that area either. So I can definitely at least keep that area, you know, prone to crashes and everything like that, and I can deal with it after the shelter. But where we have loads of hospitality such as hotels, toilets, main streets, Hammond creation labs, viewing galleries, we have to make sure they are sheltered, otherwise chaos does embark and it will be very dangerous and will cost your park a fair bit. Now this one is actually for more of an aesthetic purpose. What I mean by this aesthetic purpose is that if you put water outside of your sauropod enclosures, this only works with light steel fence by the way, this will allow your sauropods to put their neck over the fence and drink the water that is on the other side of the fence. I know, it's very cool. And not only that, but it's an amazing sight for your guests to see. You know, you're walking down past a puddle or water and you just see a Brachiosaurus lean over to you and it starts drinking. That's a really cool sight to see. Now the clip you're seeing here, credit to the owner, is actually using modded fences, but don't worry, it works with normal light steel fences as well. I don't think it works with mediums and concrete, so do keep that in mind, but it does work for light steel fences unmodded in the game. Now again, another one for your campaign. You must plan out your campaign missions. Some may be more challenging than others, but there is always a way. Read what you have to do and decide what is best for your park to save money and time. For example, trapping your dinosaurs in loads of fences does get rid of a lot of time. Of course, this only works if you don't have to worry about its comfort. So do keep that in mind, but I have actually posted a tutorial on how to complete the science mission on Isla Tucano, I believe, and that does showcase, you're probably seeing in the background, but that does showcase me using an effective way of planning ahead for my campaign. I used an obscure area of the park where no guests would be affected just in case these dinosaurs do break out. Now the main thing about that mission was to lower the dinosaurs' comfort, so I knew it was quite easy to put them in a small enclosure and wrap loads of fences around, and they will lose anger and they'll get more angry, shall I say, and they'll want to break out. The problem with Jurassic World Evolution's AI is that they're not entirely all that smart. So it will break a fence and then it will go break another fence. It couldn't just break a fence, break a fence, break a fence. So you have an inside paddock, it'll break one side of that fence and it will still go over and break the other side of the fence as well for some reason. But yes, using those type of tips and tricks does actually help with a lot of money saved, and also, you know, guests not dying is the main thing. And not only that, you'll also be able to complete the campaign missions a lot faster. I believe a few speedrunners actually use similar tips and tricks for doing similar things. Now, if you want to go and spoil it for yourself, you can look up a tutorial on how to complete the missions, but if you want to read it out thoroughly and think of how this could work, that's what I would mainly suggest to do. Now another one that was kind of discovered a few months after the release of Jurassic World Evolution was the graph on what dinosaurs can live together. So my suggestion is that you look at the graph on what dinosaurs can live and can't live together. This will help you decide what animals go in what enclosure, but be sure to focus on a dinosaur's social requirements as well. So what I mean by this is that a Gigantspinosaurus, which is a stegosaurid, can actually live with an Edmontosaurus as well. I believe Gigantspinosaurus does have a lower population compared to the Edmontosaurus, so you must find out what dinosaur species in your enclosure has the lowest population and stick to that population. But the easy dinosaurs to live with, Schuphiomimus, Triceratops, Edmontosaurus, they can have around 20 in their population and around 8 to 20 again in their species as well, so those dinosaurs are very good to generate income from one enclosure and also at the same time have a really good looking park. So definitely keep an eye on this graph that you do see on screen. I believe this is from Best in Slots video because I can't find the original owner's graph anymore. But focus on the requirements and also make sure to find out what dinosaurs can and can't live together. Again, this will probably save more space from building separate enclosures and also save you a bit more money as well. This one might come to us a little bit of a surprise, but manually reboot or rebuild your park. If your park has chaos and a tornado has swept through your park, destroying it, you can see it'll be pretty devastating. But to save time and casualties, it's always best that you drive the Jeep yourself to fix the park. One thing I have actually noticed is that the AI are too slow at doing this. I have noticed that the AI does drive about and does fix your park when you want it to fix it. But at the same time, they're very slow. You know, they can't really drift that well, and they do like 3-point turns that end up being 8-point turns somehow, and they do get stuck a lot. So what I do recommend is that you do it yourself. You know, if the tornado has only destroyed a certain part of your park and you know that you can get a ranger station or ranger vehicle, shall I say, there in time to protect the rest of the guests, then I'd recommend that you do it manually and do it yourself, as it will be quicker, and in case dinosaurs are out and about, you'll be able to keep them in their enclosure a lot faster. Let's just say the AI isn't really all that good in this game. and there's definitely ways around it if you want to be more manual about it. Again, this one is more for people who love to see dinosaur fights or want to create the perfect dinosaur. Focus on dinosaurs' attack stats. If you're looking to increase your dinosaur star rating, battling other dinosaurs does help that happen. Once your dinosaur defeats another dinosaur, it'll inherit 50% of that dinosaur's rating in the combat infamy. But the attack gene is the most important gene if you'd want your dinosaur to continue winning in battles. Obviously, it won't be 100% all of the time, so do watch out for that, but it'll be more than likely of a winning majority if this is the case. Now, if you have a dinosaur with a low defense and it's attacking a dinosaur with a high attack, you obviously know that this dinosaur with the high attack is going to win, so do keep that in mind. But if you're trying to have a high attack versus a high defense, it's going to take a little bit more extra bites. So make sure you get an all-rounded dinosaur with attack and defense. But from what I've seen, attacking is the main gene if you want it to inherit a bigger combat infamy rating. Now this one goes to the people who actually want to put money into the DLCs, and I would recommend getting the dinosaur packs before starting the campaign. The reason for this, as you can see on screen, the Proceratosaurus is part of the Carnivore Dinosaur Pack, and you can unlock it on Isla Matanceros within the first island, I believe in the security branch as well, so do keep that in mind, as maybe that dinosaur could bring you a little bit more income later in the line on Isla Muerta, Isla Tucano, Peña, Sauna, so do keep that in mind. So it's very vital that if you are thinking about getting these dinosaur packs, that you go ahead and get these dinosaur packs and then start your campaign mission, as you'll probably have more of a breeze. Especially the Proceratosaurus, it's a really good dinosaur to unlock on the first island. So instead of just unlocking the Sinoceratops and also the Dracorex on that island, you can still unlock the Proceratosaurus and then finally move on to Isla Muerta. Where again, having a Proceratosaurus in your park would add that extra viability to increasing the park's revenue. Next up, you want to build your ranger stations first more than anything. They help the most, they generate the most income, and then you can add the others. This one mainly focuses on Isla Tucano on the first mission. You are going to the island with debt, so you do have to sell items and sell buildings. Now after you've done this, you want to breed your dinosaurs firstly, obviously, but in case your dinosaurs get agitated, I have found out that placing down the ranger station is the most important. You'll be able to place that one down out of all of your faculties, as you're able to use it now, since the new update, to tranquilize, to use flares, and to replenish feeders and everything like that. So you don't have to rely on the ACU and ranger station, you can also just rely on the ranger station now. Again, you won't be able to transport your dinosaurs as well unless you have an ACU unit, but building that ranger station is the building block to try and get your park started and keeping it safe as well. Because the worst thing you want to happen is that you don't have enough money for a ranger station, you've built all of these facilities that you don't need, then your dinosaurs start breaking out and you can't get them back into their enclosure or to stop them from running around. After you have built those ranger stations, you'll also want to build power stations next to each other and very close to them. The reason why you want to build power stations next to each other and also very close to the ranger station is in case of a sabotage or power outage. It's a lot quicker to reset them when your ranger vehicles are closer to all of the power stations. You could probably have to do it manually, but nonetheless it's very easy, as you just drive, you click and it's done and dusted, instead of waiting for the 5-minute cooldown by the sabotage. Or the power outage happens, then it doesn't really take that much time, I'd say about 10 seconds, not even that, to go and fix it and get your park back up and running. So it doesn't really take all that much time and is a lot safer and efficient. Number 11. If you can't afford money from the island you're currently on, you can actually send dig teams out from an island you can afford to do so. Later, they'll come back with fossils, in which you can go back to the other island with no money and open the fossil center and then sell the fossils to generate money and genome that way. It's not an organic way of income, but it does work. So what I mean by this is, in the clip I'm searching for Pteranodon fossils. However, I go to the island of Isla Sauna where I can afford it to send out the dig teams, and then I go back to Isla Muerta, or Isla Matancera shall I say, and when the fossils and also emeralds and all of that arrive, then I do actually sell them on Isla Matanceros, I get the income on Matanceros, and then when I want to extract the DNA, I can go back to Isla Sauna where I can afford to do so, and extract the DNA that way. I hope that does make sense. If it doesn't, do put a timestamp right here and let me know what you're missing out on, and I'll try and help the best of my ability. But basically, Send out dig teams because they cost money on the island you have more money on. Then when it does arrive, when all your fossils arrive, go to the island where you have no money, sell the fossils or sell the emeralds and all of that stuff, get income, and then go back to the island with money and then extract the genome that way because you save money that way. Again, it's not really an organic way to play the game, but if you're in a little bit of a pickle, then you'll have to pretty much do something like that. Now, last but not least, take photos. Photos are a really good source of funding your parks when you're low on money. As you can see, I do take photos of this beautiful looking Ceratops here, and it does seem to actually generate me a decent amount of income of $8,000. Now, it doesn't seem like much, but once you start taking more photos of your park, you'll generate a lot more. But do be careful, because if you keep taking photos of the same species, you'll actually lose money on that photo. So do keep that in mind. As you can see, I lost $1,033 from taking photos of the Ceratops yet again. But that does actually conclude my top 12 tips for new players, especially you epic gamers out there. And I felt like this was a really good video, and if you are confused on what type of videos I make on this channel, they are mainly to do with Jurassic World Evolution, but we do also do many other dinosaur games as well. So hopefully this video has helped many of you out there. If you have any other tips that you want others to know, do let me know in the comment section down below. And if you are confused on any, do put the timestamp and ask me the question, and I'll happily try and reach out to you and get back to you. But in the meantime, if you did enjoy, why not help the channel out and subscribe and like the video. But nonetheless, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.